Gundam fight.
Ready.
Go!
Oh my god. Oh, like, okay, so...
This is the reason why there hasn't been a let's talk about anime for a while.
Yeah, this one took a while. So, fuck. How do I even want to start this? You've been talking about G Gundam for I don't know how the fuck long.
A long time.
Several years, and I rejected it for the longest while until I found some of the episodes on YouTube. And I was like, oh my god, this show's actually great. And then
you got to the point where there just weren't episodes on YouTube anymore.
yeah, certain ones were just banned. So I eventually broke down and bought the full series, except that they sent me 2 of the same disc.
Yeah.
So I bought 2 copies of G Gundam, the entire series. And I knew at some point I was going to have to watch it all.
Well, I mean, you spent $200 on it.
Yeah, it was going to have to come back around. And Lord knows this isn't going to recoup those costs. But
What if
my
it's the breakout episode?
My experience with G Gundam has certainly provided me with possibly the most consistent laughs and screaming at the screen that I have experienced in an anime to date. This show is absurdity stretched across 40-some episodes?
49.
49 episodes of absurdity. As we watch a man start out going around Earth with a photo.
Asking literally anybody, even the narrator.
Even the narrator, have you seen this man? He catches bullets.
One time.
Yes.
In the first episode, he catches a whole bunch of machine gun fire.
Yep, and proceeds to win several of his fights.
By cheating.
Not cheating.
Oh, it's totally cheating.
It's not cheating.
He's losing the fight and he's just like, you know what? Maybe if you were disqualified, maybe then I'd be the winner.
No, man. He totally wins legit with the shining finger.
Yeah,
he also has the better speeches.
He just grabs the opponent's face and it's like, well, since your face is gone, you technically can't fight, so I win by default.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than the alternative.
Which is losing?
Or dying.
Yeah, I guess. That's rule number 2, you can't aim for the cockpit.
Yeah, that'll last a whole 30 episodes, maybe.
Yeah, that's when they change.
Yeah, but, yeah, so our main character, we haven't named anybody. Our main character is Domon Kashu, who might be the most generic anime protagonist of his time I have ever seen. He wears a headband.
He's got spiky hair.
He's always angry.
And he has a sword.
He eventually has a sword.
And a cape.
It's really funny. And he's followed around by his childhood friend, because of course he is. And he's out to find his brother, who stole the Dark Gundam.
Yeah.
The evil Dark Gundam, also called the Devil Gundam. We'll get back to that.
Eventually.
And he's trekking around, and he was given a list of countries, and he's like, these people might know about the Dark Gundam.
Yeah, these are the most likely places where the Dark Gundam may have landed. Italy, France, America, China, Russia.
So close. Wow, they really nailed down where the Dark Gundam might have fallen, even though they know where the Dark Gundam landed, because they went to try and get the Dark Gundam and they fucked up.
They explain why they sent him to these places. And that was because these were the 5 people who would probably be the first to find out. Which is funny considering Russia is just like, yo, we're just gonna hang out here and we're gonna let the fights come to us.
Yeah, we're gonna steal all their Gundams and make better Gundams with their Gundams. And, yeah, so he goes on a globe-trotting quest of stupidity.
And stereotypes.
Oh, Lord.
So many stereotypes.
So many massive racist stereotypes. Tequila Gundam, who's wearing a sombrero, and whose fucking colony is a sombrero.
I was going to say.
America Gundam, which is a football player boxer with cowboy pistols, because fuck you. And whose entire colony is a star.
Yeah. China
China
Gundam's dragon.
Wow.
And they took the Great Wall of China and they put it in space.
Fucking sick. And France Gundam, which is just a shitty looking knight with roses.
You got the John Bull Gundam, otherwise known as the Royal Gundam.
Yeah,
It's a Royal Guard.
Yep, with the gun.
Woo!
Yep. And
Gundam Norway, who's a Viking with a boat.
Well, that's a lot later.
Yeah, I know. I'm just naming off all the stereotypes,
but,
like the Mummy Gundam.
No, I was gonna say we didn't talk about the Mummy Gundam. Fucking sick. Literally came back from the dead.
Now, you might be wondering: are they talking that the Gundam is a mummy or the pilot's a mummy? And you'd be correct.
Completely. The answer to that is yes. And that's it. However, there is an explanation as to how someone literally came back from the dead, and it's not dark magic. It's the Dark Gundam.
Yeah, it's the DG cells.
Fucking DG cells. And there was also the other guy who was infected with the DG cells, and he's running away from his government.
That seems to happen a lot. A lot of Gundam pilots try to run away from their government.
They're like, we're going to use the Gundam fight. Everyone, it seems like half the Gundam fighters are trying to use the Gundam fight to accomplish something else, including Domon.
No, all the Gundam fighters are trying to do that.
No, well, yeah, wait, yes. No, yeah, everyone. Everyone's got a secondary objective.
Except for maybe Mummy Gundam.
Well, Mummy Gundam was dead, so...
Yeah, I guess Mummy Gundam isn't actually part of the tournament.
Not really. Because we see the Sphinx Gundam later.
Yeah.
Burst out of the Sphinx.
And then never again.
Anyway, so... About halfway through, Domon meets his master.
Halfway through season 1.
Yes.
He goes to, Japan.
Yeah, I think it's either actually Tokyo or it's Kyoto. I'm not sure which.
No, it's not Kyoto because he goes to Kyoto in like episode 6, and it's like Shinjuku or something. So yeah, probably Tokyo.
Okay.
It's got the big old 2-stack building.
Yeah, and he meets his master, literally named Master Asia,
Undefeated of the East, and this is where the show just kind of goes off the rails.
This is the first point where, I mean, it was kind of stupid. And then this man, this entity, this creature known as the Undefeated of the East shows up, and Domon immediately jumps the shark with him, as they basically have the weirdest bromance I've ever seen, where they basically fuck each other with their fists. And
they can only communicate with their fists.
They're making out with their fists. That's just what we're watching. And, yeah, so...
Also zombies.
Yes.
Zombies just show up at this point, because, why not?
Yeah.
Just whatever. And the show just kind of expects you to take that seriously.
The show expects you to take a lot seriously.
And then you could up until the zombies showed up.
No. I don't know if I could deal with the man who fought literal giant robots with his scarf.
Yeah, but those were zombies. There were zombies in those robots.
Yeah, but
sure,
we don't know that until... I'm just saying, like, this show has the wonderful ability to, like, introduce something serious and then fucking trip over itself and hit you with something completely idiotic.
Yeah, like the superpowered tag team move of Domon and Master Asia, where Master Asia just spins really fast.
And turns into a green energy ball with his head.
Not the Gundam's head.
His head!
And he just gets punted and just destroys an entire city's worth of zombie robots.
Yep. The Dark Army.
And then, the ultimate heel turn. Master Asia is a bad guy. And so is France, America, China, and Russia. They're all bad guys now.
Yep.
Whoops.
Oh no. They're all controlled by the Dark Gundam. And then we get introduced to the fucking Shuffle Alliance. A bunch of people named after cards.
Yeah.
Who do things.
They act in secret to protect the global order. Except I don't think they do, because their Gundams are awful.
Oh, their Gundams are the worst.
And as soon as they show up, they immediately leave.
Yeah, no, they immediately sacrifice themselves to save the 4 others controlled by the DG cells. Because they can do that, despite the fact that we had to establish that DG, like, getting rid of DG cells is a process.
Look, they're magic.
Yes, and they're the successors to the Shuffle Alliance, so we will sacrifice ourselves to save the new Shuffle Alliance. And somewhere in the middle of this, we're told that Domon is the King of Hearts.
Oh, he's been the King of Hearts.
Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't really come up until that point.
No, they literally introduce him as Domon, King of Hearts, fighter from Japan.
Oh, alright, well, whatever.
It's just, the King of Hearts seems like a title and not magic at that point.
No, but instead they all have, like, seals on their hands.
Yeah, they all...
Like the fucking Triforce.
Yeah, except it's the Quint Force.
Yes.
And it's named after suits of cards.
Like the Joker.
Except the Joker. That one's not named after a suit. That's just a card.
Yes, the Black Joker. But anyway, the Shuffle Alliance fucks off, and the new Shuffle Alliance happens. Don't worry, they won't accomplish anything.
Yeah,
either.
they also just kind of fuck off. And then Schwarzbruder shows up. A German ninja.
Master of German ninjutsu. Partially in a jester's outfit, Schwarzbruder is possibly the most busted character, and that's in a universe that includes the goddamn Dark Gundam.
So Schwarzbruder just kind of like attempts to train Domon, but Domon's an idiot.
Yeah, as Domon is.
So Schwartz gives him his rusty German katana. And he's like, cut this tree down or something, I don't know.
I'll show you my power. And he cuts down a tree, and he's like, now figure it out.
Bye.
Dumbass. And so Domon goes back to... Well, at first Domon falls into a bunch of Power Ranger traps. It's very Power Rangers. And Schwartz has to bail him out again, and it's like, God damn it.
Schwartz is just like, look, your super mode sucks.
You activated the wrong way. Fix your super mode by doing things with this sword. Just go do shit.
Learn how to cut a waterfall. Go to your old training grounds.
Jump off of waterfalls and yeah, and try to cut trees and
just run around the woods swinging your fucking rusty katana around. You'll get it. Or not. Yeah. Anyway, so we get this training... I can't call it a montage, because it's like 6 episodes long.
There's no montages, and I don't even know if there was a fucking recap episode.
No, not really.
Okay, this might have been before the time of those. But,
So they go to his old home, his old training grounds.
Yes.
And everybody else just kind of shows up, like the rest of the Shuffle Alliance. They all just show up. They get an episode each where they learn a special move.
They all had something to gain by going to where Domon was. And that's nice for their character development, I guess. The rest... No one actually develops as a character. Domon even has slight development and then immediately regresses. In fact, in the same episode, he finally figures out what he needs to do to activate his super mode correctly. He immediately throws that all out the window to try and fight Master Asia.
Yeah.
Because reasons.
Because he's gotta. He's the main character. He's got it.
And it takes like 2 to 3 episodes for him to remember, because Domon is a complete idiot, that he did the thing that literally blocks Schwartz's fucking Gundam with the rusty-ass fucking katana.
Yeah, Schwartz just is like, hey, if you're not gonna do your thing, I'm just gonna hit you with my weird elbow swords.
Yeah.
That I can, like,
and
flip
also
into...
his chops.
Yeah, my German ninjutsu chops.
Oh, God. Yeah, so...
So anyway, now shit's going down because the Dark Gundam has surfaced in the Guyana Highlands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bad time for everybody. Schwartz sets up a plan to get them all away. Because he's like, look, we can't fight that.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen, guys. We gotta leave.
Yeah. We gotta break through. And
so... Oh, yeah.
And so Schwartz takes a flare and just fucks off, as Schwartz is wont to do. But, like any time Schwartz fucks off, he's kind of... Look, Schwartz is the most powerful character by miles. He kind of jobs to Master Asia on a couple of occasions.
Well, yeah, because if he kills Master Asia, then Domon learns nothing.
Yes. But... Yeah, so they're all fighting off the Dark Gundam snake faces.
They're called Gundam heads.
I don't care.
Okay.
They're all stupid. Everything about the Dark Gundam is really stupid. It grows a second face.
It grows a third face.
And a fourth and a fifth, but we'll get there.
It's full of faces.
And so...
The plan is to have the flare go off so Schwartz can blow up, like, the waterfall. And so it just washes away everybody.
Oh, God. Do you remember how he does that?
Doesn't he just, like, hit it a bunch?
He turns into the...
Oh, yeah,
that's a fucking tornado.
He goes tornado mode, and then... Anyway, so he blows up the waterfall, and all the new Shuffle Alliance, save Domon, are all like, hey, we're just gonna go now.
I mean, we have to get to Hong Kong, not Neo Hong Kong. We have to get to Hong Kong.
Tournament's gonna start in like 12 minutes.
Yeah, and Domon's like, nah, I'm staying behind. And Schwartz is like, oh my fucking God. It's like, do you not?
No, Domon doesn't get it.
No.
Anyway, he gets his shit kicked in. And, for that, he gets a present in the Burning Gundam.
Also, the God Gundam.
Yeah. But he can't use the Burning Gundam right away, because it's, like, not spec to him or something like that, so they gotta use, like, a headband.
Oh, God, that's when it happens! I forgot!
A weird headband that allows you to psychically do things, and, like... So Rain was on the Russian airplane,
yeah,
Gundam flying thing, and she wakes up and she uses the headband to control the Shining Gundam, so that it can properly sync the Burning Gundam to Domon.
Oh, at this point, the Burning Gundam or the Shining Gundam has a Master Gundam fist through its gut.
Yeah,
I don't know how that didn't hit Domo. I think it happened after Domo like got out.
Yeah, he got out of it, and he set it on autopilot too.
And then there's a big speech about like how great the Shining Gundam was for doing that, and it's like it's a robot.
No, I thought it was a speech of like he knew my move. He knew what I was gonna do.
No, but
he learned.
But
he does thank the Shining Gundam.
Yeah, there's that bit, and then he realizes that Rain's controlling the Shining Gundam so that they can put the Shining Gundam's data into the Burning Gundam so that Domon can use the Burning Gundam better, and...
So he activates the Burning Gundam, literally just, like, no cells, everything to Master Asia, just immediately flips the script.
And just fucking is like, I have to go, my country needs me. And Master Asia just disappears in the thruster exhaust of the burning Gundam.
Yeah, no. So he gets planted into the ground, like face first,
Mm-hmm.
and then explodes.
Yep.
Also, I think Dark Gundam exploded at some point.
Yeah, he beat the crap out of Dark Gundam somehow. I think he hit it with a
burning
shiny
finger?
Was it a burning finger?
I don't know
or a
what he
shiny
hit.
finger? Either way, he did the deed to the Dark Gundam, and he's off to fight in the Gundam fight proper, where
the tournament arc of this entire tournament arc series.
Yes, and he arrives with like a few seconds to spare, but not before being attacked by some of the most absurd Gundams we've ever seen.
Also doing the most absurd thing to get to Hong Kong. He flies up into orbit and uses the ring.
Dude, wait. We have to talk about we need to talk about this because this is a plot hole. Domon at one point is like, the burning Gundam can't get into the can't escape Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
Even though...
Yeah. Well, he didn't,
he did. He got up into space.
He didn't get out of the upper atmosphere.
Shut up!
Anyway, he uses... Okay, so there's, there's a wrestling ring around the Earth.
Yes.
Made of lasers.
Yes.
And that's to keep the fight in Earth. Because Article 7 of the Gundam fight rules is the battleground is Earth.
Yes.
I don't know why it's 7th, but it is.
Yes.
So he Irish whips off the turnbuckle.
Yes.
And then he gets assaulted by 4
Gundams.
things.
Yes. Beams of energy.
4 wads.
Yes. And luckily still makes it in time. And then, like a dick, declares that he's going to win every single one of his fights, even though most of them are just like exhibition matches and don't fucking matter.
It's kind of like Mortal Kombat rules in the story mode, where just anybody fights anybody. Who cares?
Yeah.
You can be eliminated, whatever.
Yeah,
and so the at this point the rules change.
Mm-hmm.
You can now aim for the cockpit.
Yes. You
can put the Gundam back in the fights as many times as you can repair it, and then I think the third rule is like if you win, you're the winner.
You're the Gundam of Gundams.
Yeah, something like that. The third rule wasn't a rule; it was just a statement. It was really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So now we get to the tournament arc proper, where we get to see even more stereotypical Gundams.
Oh dear God!
Like Zeus Gundam.
Yeah.
Can you guess which nation he represents?
Are you also ready for the man to be like 10 feet tall?
Oh, the man is a giant.
Like, literally a giant.
Like, you see Argo, and Argo is pretty big. He's the Russian guy. I don't know if we said that or not. Yeah. I don't think we did.
No, we didn't introduce anyone else.
Okay, but you got Argo, the Russian guy, who's really big.
Mm-hmm.
Also has a beef with... Well, Canada's got a beef with him.
Yes, he is also a big man.
And then fucking...
Whatever.
This man who pilots the Zeus Gundam shows up, and he's like almost 3 times Argo's size.
Yeah, he is an absolute monstrosity. He feels like he's as big as a Gundam. And it's absurd.
And then you get Gundam Norway, which is a Viking. I don't know if we even get to see the pilot.
I don't know. Took until the finale to see the fucking pilot of the
Zebra Gundam.
Oh God. It has like zebra print on it, and it's carrying like a Zulu shield and a spear, and it's like, wow. Yep.
So then we get oh God, what is Gundam Nepal? Because he's kind of important.
I don't know.
He's a bell.
Yeah, he's a bell, and the dude's blind, but he's an assassin. And he uses a stick to kill his opponents before they actually fight him.
But the most important Gundam we find out about is Gundam Sweden, the Noble Gundam.
Yes, it's it's wearing a Sailor Fuku, or the equivalent thereof, on a Gundam, which makes no sense.
It's also got long blonde locks.
Yep.
And like a twirling ribbon.
Yes. And it's piloted by
a gamer girl
who can actually match Domon blow for blow.
She could probably beat him.
Probably could. It's kind of nuts.
She could probably wipe the floor with any of them. She can just copy techniques.
Yeah, she's a fucking Japanese genius. And I say that in the sense that the way that Japan defines a genius, which is stupid. But yeah, she just learns things and can, yeah, she's just busted. She's a completely busted character. And it's great because, like, her camaraderie with Domon is really wholesome and wonderful until it takes a hard right into into fucking I'm in love with him, and I'm like, why?
He's got the charisma of a brick.
Domon has charisma, but like it's all revenge boner directed. And it really tapers off when it deals with any other emotion. He deals well in anger, and that's about it.
So yeah, we get a whole bunch of pointless fights.
Completely. They feel like filler.
Yeah, and then Domon wins the tournament.
Because
that's more or less how that whole arc goes down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, winning the tournament wasn't good enough, because Dark Gundam's back.
Yeah, well, we forgot that...
the pivotal scene of what's in the box?
Oh my god, there's a fucking box being delivered to Hong Kong, and they're like, what could possibly be in the box? And it cuts to the Dark Gundam, and you're like, why?
I don't think it cuts to the Dark Gundam, I think it's on the Dark Gundam when they say what's in the box.
Oh god, now... It isn't in a shot that necessarily implies that that's actually the inside of the box, but it's dark, and it's showing the Dark Gundam, and you're like, what the fuck do you think it's gonna be? Also, I also wanted to talk about how there was the most obvious, in retrospect, twist. Now, granted, this show pulls out twists like Twizzlers. I'm twists. One of which I called so fucking early on. Granted, it came with one of the heaviest hints that wasn't literally showing the inside of the box, but it was showing the hair and near face of our good master of German ninjutsu, Schwarzbruder, who only gets more OP as we continue. Schwartz is everywhere, but let me we'll circle back to him. There's a villain reveal, and I feel like a moron. And I was basically screaming when you pointed it out, but there's a dude who is wearing like half of the Char mask.
He's wearing a Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah. And even I pointed it out in the beginning because I recognized it, and I'm like, oh, it's a Char reference. I get it. But he's not played as a villain in the beginning. He's played as a nice guy. And I just kind of let that go until Secondary Scientist Man is going to basically exterminate Schwarzbruder, who we find out, I just realized we're going to circle right back around to it, who we find out, surprise, surprise, despite the fact that it was one of the heaviest reveals other than the inside of the box, is Domon's brother. In a sense.
I was gonna say brother in quotes, because he's actually, it's the body of the real German ninjutsu guy.
Infected by the DG cells.
And with Domon's brother's conscience uploaded into him.
And also his appearance.
Yeah.
Which makes it even sillier, but, yeah.
He just got really lucky he found the one guy who wears a mask during all this.
Yeah.
So nobody could call him out on this bullshit.
Yeah, even though... And the sad part is that him being DG cells completely explains all of his bullshit.
Yeah.
His ability to phase through walls.
No, that's ninjutsu.
Rise from the ocean.
Again, ninjutsu.
Turn into statues.
That was ninjutsu.
spin like a top while his head remains stationary.
Okay, that one's a Master Asia technique.
That is true. Like, because the sad part is his Gundam does it, and then it cuts to the inside of his cockpit, and he's doing it. Like, anyway, we find out that Kyoji is Schwarzbrüder, in a way, and Rain is Domon's childhood friend and also his mechanic. Rain's father...
Weevil Underwood.
Very old Weevil Underwood. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh shit. The American guy, Chimney Crockett, is basically a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Yeah, you could throw him in like 5Ds and you wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah, not in the slightest. Basically reveals that he was a bad guy, and half Char Mask Man, to my stupid surprise, is the big bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
To which I screamed, basically, at my own stupidity, that of all the things that were so obvious and forecasted, I somehow did not pick him out as a villain.
That's because he's barely in the show.
That's fair. But still, it's like, oh, the Char Mask actually meant something. Of course it meant something. Everything in this show means something. Everything in this show is the hardest Everything in this show is the hardest metaphor. It's like the show was written by Domon. Domon is incapable of subtlety, and this show is incapable of subtlety.
No, what are you talking about?
The big bad at the very end is killed with a heart.
Yeah,
the turned into a king.
Yeah, because Domon is the King of Hearts, referencing his romance.
Everything meant something.
Even if it didn't mean something, it meant something. But anyway, so like the Dark Gundam is back.
Yes. And it turns out it's powered by women.
Yeah, so the best power source is something that can give birth to new life.
Because
over and over again.
Because that's what the Dark Gundam was supposed to do. It was supposed to return life to the Earth.
So they were going to put Allenby in the Dark Gundam, but that didn't work so well. Allenby is the Neo Sweden. I don't know if we said that.
We might have.
Don't matter. Now you know.
Yes.
And so the Hong Kong guy was like, yeah, we're going to put her in there and it's going to be great. And Master Asia's like, that's bullshit.
Domon, in his perfect body, need to get inside the Dark Gundam.
So now we get a secondary double cross from Master Asia. He's not actually working with Hong Kong to, like, make them better.
I mean, it was clear that he never was in the first place.
I don't know, Hong Kong man thought he was.
Yeah, but Hong Kong man's a moron.
Well, yeah, but he likes candy.
Likes Pocky a lot. Eats a lot of Pocky.
But yeah, no, so Master Asia's like, no, man, I was going to use the Dark Gundam for, like, genocide. I was just going to kill everybody and bring back the dinosaurs. Those were cool.
Yes.
And then Master Asia dies because, like, he gets fisted a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
And, according to the rest of the cast, this was the best, the truest Gundam fight.
I'll be fair, it was one of the better fights in the show.
Well, I mean...
Despite the fact that it ended in a beam clash.
Well, I'm just saying what the rest of the Shuffle Alliance called it.
Yeah, the greatest Gundam fight of all time.
So anyway, you think, no, problem solved. Domon won the championship, Dark Gundam dead. No, this is where we get, like, the real heel turn of Ilube, the Char Mask Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, now I'm going to take Rain, I'm going to shove her in the Gundam. She's already tried to push Domon away.
Yes. And
we're going to space, and now we're going to fuse the Dark Gundam with Neo Japan Colony.
Oh my god.
And that upsets a lot of people, the Americans mostly, so they come up and they're like, yo, here's our greatest weapon, the Statue of Liberty cannon. They shoot it, Statue of Liberty explodes.
Yeah, no, it gets shot back by like the energy field of Neo Japan, and
so now Domon's got to go up there with the burning Gundam
on the horse Gundam that we didn't talk about.
Yeah, Funyun rings,
dude. Master Asia constantly appears standing, not sitting, standing on top of a horse. And so, in order to preserve this image in his Gundam, he gave his horse a Gundam.
Yes.
It is in the shape of a horse. The horse literally puts on the suit.
Yeah, the horse has to go through the suit process as well. So Domon goes up to space with Funyun rings, the horse.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of getting his ass kicked. So the rest of the Shuffle Alliance show up. And they're kind of getting their ass kicked too.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the Gundams show up.
Yeah.
All of them.
About 40 windmill Gundams. Every sea creature you can think of.
Yeah, Crab Gundam, go.
Go Crab Gundam, go Octopus Gundam. Like, fuck. And
the
Gundam. Literally just the fucking like the Gundam from the original show, I swear.
And they're all being led by Allenby and Gundam Nepal.
Yeah.
The blind assassin who got spared.
Who we keep joking literally doesn't know where he's going and should just go in random directions and shouldn't know what's happening.
There's a line where he's like, everybody follow me. And we're just like, and he just goes off by himself.
Swinging at nothing. Fucking sick.
But no, he pulls out this weird ass special move that utilizes like all these Gundams around him.
And
like they in practice, I guess.
And the fucking yin yang from Taoism, it's and then he blows up the Dark Gundam penis.
He blows up a Dark Gundam penis.
Yes. Because the Dark Gundam at this point is it's
a tentacle monster.
Yes. It's come to do things to the Earth without its consent. It's a bad time.
And then, as this first tentacle gets blown up, he's like, yeah! And then he gets blown up by a second tentacle.
It's fucking sick.
And then there's a whole bunch of Gundams that blow up before the tentacle gets to them, because they're like,
self-destruct. We're done. We give up. And so, in the process of acquiring the battery for the Dark Gundam, Rain's dad got shot, and he's been limping around leaking ketchup everywhere, and finally gets to where they're just holding Domon's dad, breaks the glass to eject his dad
into the dark recesses of space,
because that's smart, and that doesn't even do anything because Domon still just uses his burning finger to blow a hole in the side of the colony.
Yeah, but, like, it's fine. Because now the Shuffle Alliance is inside the colony, Domon's dad has been de-thawed, so now he can tell them where to go.
Yeah, but they're all getting zapped by balls.
Yeah, and then they decided they weren't going to do that anymore, so they stopped getting zapped.
Yeah, and,
they just swing their weapons around wildly while they fall down a hole. And
no, it's...
and then they eventually reach the Grandmaster Gundam, which is just a Power Rangers fucking Gundam.
Well, we missed the part where the main villain is like, good thing I've been training my body, and he rips off his shirt, and he's the most buff, ripped man you've ever seen.
Muscles on top of muscles.
Should not have fit underneath that uniform, but, whatever. This show is stupid enough. It can only get dumber from here.
So yeah, he's got the Grandmaster Gundam, which is the Master Gundam, and the 4 Dark Kings of the
Dark Gundam,
which we didn't talk about because they're all trash.
They all get destroyed by a double team sacrifice, and we don't even see all 4 of them.
I'm assuming Master Gundam is one of the 4.
Probably.
Which would be the 4th one.
Yeah. So there's a bird, there's a clampy monster with tons of rods, some of which are cannons, some of which are electric spikes, and there's a ball.
An orb with, like... It's a tripod orb.
It's a Tinker Toy. It's a set of Tinker Toys mixed with those fucking buzz droids from Star Wars Episode 3.
But yeah, no, they all suck. Anyway, they fuse together, and by fuse together, I mean it's just Master Gundam on top of
the big
one, and then, like, there's bird claws to the sides.
There's bird claws on one side, and there's a detachable ball Gundam on the other.
I don't think the ball Gundam's attached.
No, I mean, I don't know. It was the reject of the group. It's the redheaded stepchild that no one wanted, and
so they beat it with the combined efforts of the Shuffle, Burning Finger, and I say combined efforts, but I'm pretty sure it's literally just Gundam France and Gundam Japan. I don't think anybody else contributed to that, aside from being part of the mantra.
It doesn't... Whatever. It doesn't matter. They melt down the supposed battery power source of the Dark Gundam, and then, to everyone's surprise but us, the real battery was Rain all along.
Yeah, she's inside the cockpit, so to say. The imagery
used when we see Rain as a Silver Surfer fused with the Dark Gundam, whole lot of
cockpits, yes.
In the innuendo sense of that word, is the imagery we see. It's very painful. And Domon's on his way to Burning Finger it.
Yeah.
To extricate Rain from the cockpit of the Dark Gundam.
Yeah, so anyway, the rest of the Shuffle Alliance gets left behind, and then, what do you know? The Grandmaster Gundam just gets back up because he can regenerate.
Because it's one of the fucking 3 theoretical abilities of the Dark Gundam, which we haven't gone into detail on, but they're all stupid.
It's basically immortality.
It can repair itself, it can make more of itself, and it can evolve itself.
Yeah.
Which is the most nebulous, undefined, confusing part. Basically, all it means is that the Dark Gundam can grow more heads. That's all it exists to do.
Yeah, more or less.
It'll get bigger, it'll grow more faces, and then it'll decide that its greatest achievement is to just be the second head with the body of the first part of the Dark Gundam, but it's actually Rain who's being a tsundere.
Yeah, she's like, stay away from me, I've caused you so much pain, sins of the father.
And then he's like, well, your dad said it was entirely his fault, but that doesn't matter because I love you now.
And then she just gets popped right out.
Pops right out of the cockpit.
And Domon jumps up, uses his cape, turns it into a dress.
Yes.
And then they do like a ballroom dance, Burning Finger of Love.
Burning Finger of Love that turns into the king for some reason and punches a heart-shaped hole through the Dark Gundam. And then they proceed to go around and destroy all the veiny parts of the Dark Gundam, which then repairs the Earth for reasons. And then they fly away on the Pegasus unicorn whatever thing.
Yeah, Funyun Ring shows up again out of nowhere. Cause Funyun Ring gets grabbed by tentacles.
Yeah, and just vanishes from the show.
And then he's just back in the final shot, and everybody's just like, yeah, we did it, woo! And then they go home.
Yeah, oh, we forgot. There's the point where Domon's about ready to give up, and then Allenby shows up as a fairy.
And she's like, tell her how you really feel. Just tell her I love you.
Otherwise, there's something
Otherwise, I can't fall in love with anybody else because I love you. And then she explodes.
That was the best. Oh, God. Anyway, it's really stupid, like the rest of this show, and it just ends, and then they're like, we're gonna keep having the Gundam fight, and it's like, really?
They're like, look, we know the problems, so we can solve them.
Just like the Dark Gundam.
Yeah. Anyway, let's give this some numbers so we can all go home.
Oh my god. Alright. I am so ready to make this the king of everything we've ever watched. Plot. Not gonna lie.
Solid. Very good.
Was
9
it?
out of 10.
We're not doing out of 10. We're doing it out.
Ah, shit, it's been so long.
Yeah, I know. It's out of 5. I wouldn't call this a 5 out of 5 plot. I feel like the entire story loses the plot at numerous opportunities. It's like it's
padding time till it gets to the end.
It's like the show wants to drop the plot as much as possible.
Yeah, just focus on the robot he's fighting this week.
It's honestly a pretty weak premise. The twists are decent.
3 out of 5.
Fair enough.
It at least doesn't like lose the plot completely. It drops it a few times, but at least picks it back up before the next episode.
Yeah. Characters.
5 out of 5. Perfect characters. Master Asia.
Master Asia, Shorts Brooder, and to some extent Domon really carry this entire show on their shoulders. And stupid spinny shit.
They're all tops.
It's fucking insane. The entire show is nuts. Yeah. Anyway. Animation. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the animation dies and it's completely to the comedic benefit of the entire show.
It's also a 90s show, so you can't take it too... You can't be too rude about it.
No, you can.
No.
But, like...
No.
You can be completely rude about it, but, like, I'll just say it. Like, when it dies, it's always to the comedic benefit.
I mean, you're not wrong about, like, especially when Master Gundam shows up and he's taunting Domo and he just slides out of frame.
Every time something just slides somewhere, it's wonderful.
4 out of 5.
Oh, 4 out of 5? Okay.
It's not perfect. It's good. It's not perfect.
Genre strength.
As a giant robot show.
As a giant robot fighting tournament, aces. Like
5 out of 5.
Like,
perfect.
It's never been better.
As a romance, maybe not, but we're kind of as a fighting show.
Yeah.
Giant robots.
The romance part kind of just gets shoveled in at the end because the power of love has to win. But yeah, on to the bonuses. The dub. The dub is fucking stellar.
2 out of 2.
Like, fucking the guy who plays Domo like kills it. In the first half where he's doing the shining finger speeches, they're always over the top amazing. It's wonderful. And then the burning finger kind of... it's alright, but then it turns into a projectile and it's just not as fun.
Yeah, it's when he learns the super skill. But no, it's a good dub. It's really good. Yeah.
Special mention.
Honestly, I want to give it to Master Asia because he's what takes this show and it just derails it completely.
I mean, yes. He's like the beginning of the derailment, but then I feel like Shorts Brooder basically becomes a meme.
Okay, fine. How about we just call it Domon's Mentors? You know.
I mean...
just give him 2 for both. Give him 1 point for Master Asia, 1 point for Schwartz.
Alright. Master Asia and Schwartz jump all sharks.
Yeah.
2 completely. Hardest 2 we've ever given.
They don't really jump sharks, they spin over sharks.
They spin over, disappear, vanish into, and become sharks.
Yes.
All of these things are all relevant. And the grand total is, I believe, 21. Which I don't think is the highest.
I think it ties.
Yes, it ties Luluco.
Woo!
I mean, it's... G Gundam is weird in the sense that I honestly feel like it's a better show than Luluco for opposite reasons, where Luluco is insane and short. G Gundam is insane and maintains that insanity for an extended length of time, but it's not as insane. Yeah. It has a more gradual insanity curve.
Yeah, it starts off pretty regular, like, oh man, okay, cool, there's a whole bunch of countries are fighting each other. Oh shit, zombies! What the fuck?
Well, I mean, and then but it starts off with like that man just caught bullets, and it's like, all right, whatever. The rest of these fights are kind of nothing. Zombies are here. That man's a projectile. And
then it doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
It keeps going, but like it's a comfortable ride up to the absolute insanity that is Burning Finger of Love, which sounds dirty. That leaves a heart-shaped hole in the Dark Gundam, which is also a weird skeleton monster.
Yeah. Ultimate Gundam.
Dude, fuck. Like, I had a consistently great time yelling at this show for being stupid. Also, the camera was Schwarzbrüder until he died.
Schwarzbrüder never dies. He's still alive somewhere.
Of course he is.
He gave motivational speeches after death.
He did.
Much like Master Asia.
As did Master Asia, which is so dumb.
They both ascended to the Force. Anyway.
Yeah. Man, G Gundam was great.
The G stands for good.
Also Gundam.
Yes. Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye.